everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to break down instructions. Before beginning an assignment, it is really important to understand what is being asked. Some assignments are short and to the point, whereas others can be long, involved, and sometimes have multiple steps to them. So when approaching directions, there are some general strategies that you can use. The first thing to do is to read the instructions through. You want to do it at least 3 times. The first time, you want to just read them to get the gist of what's being asked, and then the next 2 times you may want to underline or highlight or basically annotate the key words in those instructions. That's step 2. So depending on the instructions, you may have to further break them down. I will show you a few examples of what I mean by that, but for the other ones, you can just go with it. And then after completing your assignment, you have to go back to the instructions and make sure that you did everything that was asked. All right, so let's go through a few examples. I'm going to read the instructions. Below are actual posts published by individuals on social media. Read each portion, then rewrite each one using proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Now, the second time through, I'm going to read and annotate the key words. All right, now I'm going to read the instructions and annotate the key words. Below are actual posts published by individuals on social media. Read each post, then rewrite each one. All right, so I'm going to pause there. Read and rewrite. Those are 2 commands that I need to do. Now let me continue. Each one using proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. So grammar, spelling, and punctuation is what this activity is trying to get at. They want us to fix these sentences with the proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Now, just to make sure that I understand what's being asked, I'm going to read the instructions through one more time. Below are actual posts published by individuals on social media. Read each post, then rewrite each one using proper grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Remember, at the end of the assignment, you're going to come back and read the instructions through one more time to make sure that you both read and rewritten each sentence using grammar, spelling, and proper punctuation. Sometimes we can get assignments where the instructions are much longer and have different components in the directions. This next example is how we are going to, again, read and annotate for keywords, and then we're going to break down the instructions even further. Sample number 2, long instructions. So step 1, just going to read it through to get the gist of the whole prompt. As people rely more and more on technology to solve problems, the ability of humans to think for themselves will surely deteriorate. Write a response in which you discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with the statement and explain your reasoning for the position you take. In developing and supporting your position, you should consider ways in which the statement might or might not hold true and explain how these considerations shape your position. Please note that when I read this last set of directions, because they're longer, I definitely slowed down and made sure to read with different inflections. For the record, you should do that with short instructions also. All right, so now I'm going to read through these instructions again, but this time I'm going to annotate as I read. I want to find those key words. As people rely more and more on technology to solve problems, the ability of humans to think for themselves will surely deteriorate. As you notice, I decided to use highlighters and I used 2 different colors. I decided that technology and solving problems was one kind of main point that this prompt was pointing out. That's why they're highlighted together in yellow. And then the second part with the keywords, humans to think for themselves, deteriorate, I highlighted in blue because they're also kind of grouped together. All right, let's keep going. Write a response in which you discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with the statement and explain your reasoning for the position you take. So a lot of keywords here. We're going to do a response discussing whether I agree or disagree with the statement and explain my reasoning, provide evidence for the position that I take, either agreeing or disagreeing with this statement. All right, I'm going to keep going. In developing and supporting your position, you should consider ways in which the statement might or might not hold true and explain how these considerations shape your position. So again, I continue to underline keywords. The prompt, it wants you to go into more detail. They want you to develop and support, provide evidence for the position you take, whether it's true or not holding true, again, with that agree, disagree kind of matchup in the previous sentence. And then they want us to explain and think about how these considerations shape your position. So again, providing evidence. One also strategy here, as you saw, is that I read the sentences and I also put them in my own words to really understand and make sure I understood what was being asked of me. That is a great strategy when working with your student and breaking down instructions. Now I'm going to read the instructions through again, making sure I didn't miss anything. As people rely more and more on technology to solve problems, the ability of humans to think for themselves will surely deteriorate. Write a response in which you discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with the statement and explain your reasoning for the position you take. Oops, I have to write something, so that's also really important. I'm going to go ahead. I forgot to underline, so I'm going to underline write. There we go. All right. In developing and supporting your position, you should consider ways in which the statement might or might not hold true. Again, I think I kind of missed that, but it's also related to the statements at top. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to underline those, and also I'm going to I'm going to draw a connection here to this portion here because they're, again, similar, related, and again, circle or. All right, let's go back just to make sure I got it all. So, in developing and supporting your position, you should consider ways in which the statement might or might not hold true and explain how these considerations shape your position. Again, as I read through, I emphasize the key words. And again, just a reminder, once you have finished writing your paper or completing the assignment, you'll want to go back and reread these instructions one more time, using it as a checklist to make sure that you completed all the tasks that were asked of you. Thanks so much for learning with us today. If you have any questions or want more assistance, please feel free to contact us via email and to check out our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more videos, resources, and tips. See you next time. Bye.